This is the third spreadsheet example we want to have a look at. We're looking at data which comes from a Boyle's law experiment in chemistry, where the pressure on a container of gas is increased, and we see what happens to the volume. Pressure is the independent variable, and the volume is the dependent variable. I've typed in the title of the table, as you can see. I've also typed in the labels and the units of each of the variables. I'll select column A and column B and wrap text to make the units visible. So I'll go up here. If we have a look at the data for pressure, we can see that there is a gap of 20 units between each one. So I can use the fill down facility. So I click here, drag, click there, drag down. I'll delete this graphic. Now I can select the numbers to make the graph. I go up here to insert. I choose this option, as I don't expect a straight line. And I'll fill in the graph title, the labels, the axes, and I'll put in the units. The shape suggests an inverse relationship between pressure and volume. Inverse comes from the word to invert, or to turn upside down. To see if it's possible to get a straight line, again, we might try manipulating a variable. In this case, I'll manipulate the volume. Firstly, I'll click into cell C2 to put in the label and the units. I'll type in a formula rather than a function into C3. Remember, formulas and functions must start with an equal sign. Now I'll fill down and adjust the number of decimal places. The next thing is to insert the graph. So to do that, I'll need to move this one out of the way. So clicking into the cell A3 and selecting that first column, I then hold down the Control key and select the next column. Going up here to insert. This time I'm selecting a graph where I'm expecting a straight line. So I'll select this one. This time I'll copy and paste the graph title, the labels and the units. Now if you see dotted lines like these ones here around a cell, the way to remove them is to press the escape key. Otherwise they can drive you crazy. To put in the line of best fits, we first select the graph, which it is already, and click on the plus sign. I can see that it's going to be linear, so clicking on trend line and going down to more options, you can see linear is already selected. I'll scroll down to display the equation on the chart. Now, as it looks as if it's going towards 0, I will select Set Intercept to 0, and now you can see the gradient in the equation. So for those of you doing chemistry, you can see that we have the equation P is equal to M over V, where M is the gradient, a constant number for this volume of gas, so long as temperature remains constant. It also shows where the equation P1 V1 equals P2 V2 comes from. So that shows you the kind of information we can get from a graph. This just happens to be Boyle's law.